Hello everybody. Today I decided to build the moon from Majora's Mask in Minecraft. This video is a tutorial, so if you follow along, by the end of the video you should be able to have your own very angry moon. And if you choose to follow this tutorial, I just want you to know that this is a two-part video. There is a more detailed tutorial in the first half, and then there's a less detailed, more difficult tutorial in the second half. But the second one is less straightforward and it goes in less detail. You can try and keep up if you want, but it is a much shorter tutorial. In this first part of the video, I'm going to be splitting up each part of the sphere into different colors. Red I'm going to have for the base, and then the next thing I'm going to build 3 orange blocks out, and then 2 yellow blocks, 1 green block, another green block on top of that, and then yellow and orange again in the respective amount of blocks. So 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. Hope this makes sense. But so here, I'm going to be copying all these steps here, and I'm going to be creating the bottom of the sphere. And hopefully by the end of it, if you're following along, you should have a similar shape that I do. So on the orange layer, you're going to have 3 for the first 3 on the outside. Then you're going to go 2, 1, 2 for each fourth of the circle. So you go 2 blocks out, then 1 block in between, and then 2 blocks again when you round out to the circle. On the yellow, it's 3, and then you're going to build out 3 blocks again, and then 1 block with 1 other block after that. You can kind of see what I'm talking about right there. So it's like 3 blocks, 2 blocks, sorry, not 2 blocks, 1 block, and then another block next to it, and then 3 blocks again. And then on the green one, you're going to connect them. Make sure you don't split up the diagonal or anything. It's going to look exactly like this. And you're just going to put a border around it. So at this point, you should have the same shape that I do. It should look pretty much exactly like this. And the way that this works with spheres is just like building a big cube. It has, I think, 6 sides. Cube has 6 sides, so you're basically building a very circular cube. You're building a bunch of circles, and each side has its own thing. What I just built right there was the base. This part is one of the most important parts because it's very tricky. It's getting the corners right. So with circles, you know that they don't have corners, and so in this game, you have to make this kind of W shape. At least this is what I found, to make it look like a nice little circle here. But you make this W shape right after you insert those parts of the circle. I outlined this in blue. It's a W or M shape. I think you can see it right there pretty well. That way it looks like on the corner it still looks like a circle. You got a very circular shape. Anyways, I'm going to be copying all those steps I just showed you and basically completing the sphere. So here I use the W shape again. I do try and get as much angles as possible so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. So there's that W shape in the middle of those 2 blue beams, but as you can see right there, it is definitely still a square, because that's basically what you have to do. You have to wrap your mind around it. Yeah, now I'm going to complete the circle. I mean sphere. So you're basically going to be building circles on the orange, yellow, and green parts, exactly the same as I showed you in the first part, on every single face of the circle. So all 6 faces, you're going to be building it like this. And I didn't want to show you me explaining it and building it over and over again, so I sped it up here and made a nice little time lapse for you to enjoy. this point, I'm going to do the corners again. Just because they're so tricky, I'm going to explain exactly what I did again. Just remember that there's a W shape and that there's just trying to fill in all that space as good as possible. Then after you get to this point, you are either building this with stone or with wool, it doesn't matter, because you'll be replacing it with stone after you build it all with wool. But if you're building with stone, you won't have to replace it. At this point, I'm going to fill in all of the gaps that we have from our little circles to show you exactly how this works. So with that, we're moving on to the nose. The nose is a very tricky part. Have to build it exactly like I'm showing you right here. Obviously, you don't have to build it exactly how I'm showing, but I'm going to be building the nose right here, punching out some holes for the eyes. There's a lot of steps coming up. This is a very tricky part of the video. So here, the nose kind of drips down on the face, and it's really hard to get the angle right. But I put some blocks there, about 2 blocks down for each side of the nose, and then kind of made it a little bit wider. And then I have those gaps for the nostrils. And then this is where I started playing around with the shape a little bit. Here we are. So you want to get roughly this shape for the nose to look right. The whole angle of this moon is very, very weird. And so it is very hard, or at least in my opinion, it can be very hard to do. Luckily, it's so much smaller than other builds, so it should be pretty easy to follow. And then I started an opening for the mouth, but we'll get to that later. Right now I'm working on the brows, so the yellow part right up here. I'm making those a little bit thicker, adding 3 blocks. And then I'm adding more holes for the eyes right there, about 2 blocks each. And everything's symmetrical, so everything I do on one side, I'm going to do the other. And so there's going to be parts of the video where it doesn't show you everything. Here we go. I'm increasing the brow again. Has to go 1 block above. There we go. Did it properly that time. And yes, I have everything mapped out in colors just so that it makes it easier to understand what's going on. You do not have to build it with wool. Again, I am going to keep rephrasing this and re-saying this over and over. I'm going to be working on making sure I get the shape of the face right. Now I'm going to be doing some more of the facial structure by adding a couple blocks to each side, about 3 blocks each, and on the yellow part right there. And then on the blue, I'm going to take out those blocks. That way the eye holes are a little bit bigger. At this point, you should really start to see it come together. Gonna knock out some more blocks here just to make the eye holes even bigger. Kind of messed up there. And then at the bottom, I'm going to be adding some more facial structure, so that yellow section is getting a little bit thicker. So about 1 block out. So I placed 4 blocks on each side, making it a little bit more pointy, and it has cheeks. And then I am placing slabs here, because technically you will be building this out of stone. You can build it out of cobblestone, but I'm building it out of stone because I like it that way. But I placed 4 slabs on each side in these very specific spots. I don't know if you can tell, but put 1 on the green section, 1 on the blue section, and 2 on the yellow on each side. I'm going to be opening up space for the mouth here. I will be making a lot of mistakes here, so be patient. But here, I give it some more space, about 2 blocks back from where I dug the hole earlier. The next part is I'm going to be building the teeth and more of the lip. So here I sped it up, but I put some more yellow wool and I grabbed some red concrete for the gums, making it so that there's red in between the teeth. Here, I think it has a little bit of a clearer image here, so you understand what's going on. Trying to make this as clear as possible. You want to have a 4x4 block for the upper teeth, and it only has 4 teeth, even though it clearly has more in the game. But then on the bottoms, the bottom teeth, they're a lot smaller. They're only 1 block by 2 blocks. And then when you're done with these, you want to cover that up with black wool or black concrete. It doesn't really matter how you cover it up, as long as the interior isn't showing. With black concrete, it makes it really easy because you can just do this. You could do it the exact same way I'm doing it in the video, or you could do it however you want. It doesn't matter. Oh yes, and then I'm going to be putting some here for the nostrils. That way the nostrils are black. And the next part is going to be the eyes. So I chose glowstone so the eyes always glow. And then this is where you need to get it correct, because there is a 3D effect with the eyes that make it so that it does kind of look straight at you when you're on the ground. So in that specific position where it's about 1 block away from the yellow brow, that's where I would place the eye, and kind of in the middle of the whole thing. If you need to pause and rewind, go ahead and do so. And then I outlined it here with red concrete to kind of make the eyes red, kind of how they are in the video game. And then with the same thing as before, as I stated before with the black wool or black concrete, whatever you choose to use, it doesn't matter as much, but you can still choose to do the exact same steps that I follow. Because if you do the exact same steps, I guarantee you it will look pretty much exactly like when I'm building. All right, we're getting very close. So with that, I think we're pretty much done. All you need to do at this point is swap out the wool for stone. I am making a couple adjustments here. And then that's pretty much it. On to the next part of the video, which is just a time lapse, by the way. But it's me building in stone, and you will see how I got to the final product. video, I decided to texture the stone a little bit so it looks more like there's craters on the moon. Anyways, that's about it. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I hope this helped you build your own Majora's Mask moon.